In all of my dreams, the words "I love you" sound like they are being spoken underwater. The interviewer asks if I have come to any new conclusions about the Titanic. I think dying afraid is treason against your lone, cherished life. A disaster of terrible hours masked by occasional miracle, but I'm speaking for myself, I say. I want time to fall in love with my endings before I take their hand. A halo of orange stains my cheek. A smattering of lipstick before a door closes and never opens again. I look up, and it is dark before I can ask forgiveness for not loving the occasional miracle of light. At the dawn of dying, a man told me it wasn't the entirety of his living that flashed before him, only the softest, prettiest moment on an endless loop in every dream. And he said to wake up from that each morning and still be here was another kind of death. The interviewer asks if I know how to swim. I cannot see the water from where I live, so I don't believe it can touch me. The story is, there were people aboard the ship who would have survived if they believed the ship was sinking invincible beings on an invincible vessel. But I ask, who is in charge of setting the distance between knowing you will die and not wanting to? From far enough out, it is impossible to tell where the sky ends and the water begins, a child might say, a finger hanging over the sand-struck edge of the world. And what strange architecture that is, the illusion between heavens. Darkness, which mothers myth. Any good executioner knows this. An iceberg finds paradise in the yawning black, its bladed edges looking, perhaps, from afar, like stars strung across another doorway to another unromantic night. The interviewer asks if I know how to swim. I love the thrill of waking from a nightmare, evicted from the hell of my mind's own making, and thrown back, gasping into a moment of gratitude, thin as a thread that barricades a door between love and anguish. A half minute to praise the hauntings, the illusions that would rather me dead. But would you believe the bed is still empty despite the good news? I apologize to the absence until I envy my dead pal who died a new death each morning when he was torn from his long-gone beloved who, in his dream, danced with him in their first house and sung "Darling, You Send Me" in his ear. And I haven't loved anyone enough to want to run screaming their name through God's hallways. I haven't loved anyone who visits me while I sleep and die again. The interviewer has my hand in their hand now, and they ask if I'd like to learn. They tell me it's only as cold as I imagine it to be. I'm sorry, I'm always doing this. We began somewhere else, and I know we are here to talk about drowning, but what if we never find each other in the afterlife? If we arrive with a memory of love, a sweetness that took its leave upon our earthly exit, what if, even in heaven, we are meant to wander, lonely as an iceberg, floating between a lie and the truth? Wouldn't you want to stay a little longer? The child standing on the shoreline understands this, means to say, there is no difference between the suffering, heaven, another kind of drowning. I would be among those who were called disbelievers. I would find a place to watch the sky while the ship curled upward like a wicked grin. I need a moment to fall in love with my endings. I know it will be over soon. Forgive me for holding on. I am too afraid there is nothing on the other side. God fashions a door and you spend an eternity walking through only to find another door. God that's an echo of longing for all of us in the end. The interviewer asks if I know the flowers I've been holding are dead. When I look down, I wake up. A parade of rose petals spiral from under my tongue, each one covered in ice.